to start recording before we like anything happens. Yeah, nah, I can hear you perfectly now, bro.
Alright, perfect. I just use a different device.
Yeah. Let me
And
just
that's like
introduce the show, yo guys. How you guys doing? So this is not another show. This is actually just how can I put it? A retake of the first show because
yeah.
people are actually crying about the audio content on the last one. But this obviously won't be as long as the last one.
So I
Um,
got time.
Sorry, say that again.
I got time. I got time.
Okay, cool. Then, yo, I'm good for it too, bro. I just thought
I
about your time, but yo, what up? What up? How you doing, man? You good?
I'm good, bro. Like shit, man. It's just crazy times, but
Crazy
we crazy
times. Yeah, we'll
dudes.
definitely
Oh,
talk
we
about those
crazy
crazy
dudes,
times on
bro.
the
This is
show.
this is built fast, bro. We gorillas.
No
This shit
cap,
built fast.
no cap. You already know, bro. You already know. But yeah, I already know who you are. So I'm just gonna
What?
take this like the first time. So I'm gonna
Mm.
need you to introduce yourself, bro. Like, who are you?
Yo.
What do you
Okay, cool.
do?
So I guess maybe we have to do it the second time. It gives me give me some time to think about it. You feel me? Give me some time to
Yeah.
think about it. So, yo, it's your boy Hayden Manuel, aka HC Fit Kid, aka Big Gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? AKA
Right.
the greatest rapper never to rap. Um,
What do you do? The greatest
so
rapper never to rap.
I'm just like a nerd, like fashion, music, art, all that. But I happen to flip that into a career. So like I
Word.
work for Puma. So I
Right.
look after all essentially, like as you know, it's traditionally a sports brand. So I look after all non-sports marketing. So like art, fashion, music. I negotiate the contracts, all that stuff
Right.
with.
Right.
Essentially, like in a weird way, like in an unofficial way, like creative director for the brand, I
Right.
guess. So yeah,
Right. Dope. That's right, bro. So before like we talk about anything else, one thing I actually missed to talk about last time was your background, dude.
yeah.
Like where you from? Where did you grow up? Where did you school? What did you end up studying? And like
Yeah.
what happened? Like which direction did you end up taking? And
So, so I grew up in Cape Town, southern suburbs, like a place
right,
called like Grassy Park. So,
right.
just normal, just upbringing, I guess. I went to school, hood school, like you know what I'm
Right,
saying, high school, primary school. Both my
right,
parents are school teachers. So, and then I decided I wanted to like I don't know, like, it was like always like I always been into this shit like fashion, music, especially hip hop. So like
right,
I fell in love with hip hop through graffiti. So because back
right,
in the
right.
day, like Cape Town was like the shit when it comes to graffiti. They used to
Yeah,
say
there's a big
our
graffiti
galleries
scene.
are our galleries are our walls and stuff. So
Right,
used to get into a lot of shit because of it, like just like this banging up trains, all that stuff, low key. And
right.
then I gotta like get into this. Like I didn't. I mean, there's no internet really that time, so you couldn't like figure out what who. And so I was
What the
like,
hell is
okay,
going
fine,
on?
fuck it.
Yeah,
And like being like, I always wanted to go into advertising, right?
right.
And you when you ask me the reason why, because like because that's the only place I thought you could wear sneakers to work. That's how I
Are you
came to.
serious?
That's why I wanted to work in advertising. Get that,
Dude, you
bro. That's
joking.
because you can wear sneakers to work. I don't want to fucking wear no suit. I knew then, bro.
Hey, for
I'm not
real.
no
So it
square,
wasn't like a thing
no.
of, yo, I like advertising. Just a thing of, yo, this looks like the
Because
only thing.
you can wear shoes too. And then look at it. And then,
Crazy.
nah, dead ass, bro. For real. I'm no cap. No cap. I knew
Wow,
nothing
dude,
about
that's
it. I just like, yo, generations, they look like
what
they're
a
having fun.
twist.
They look like they're
Yeah.
having fun. Generations, they work in advertising. You know what I'm saying? And it's real creative. No cap. No
Damn, that's
cap. No
crazy.
cap.
So you
No
ended up
cap.
studying
No cap.
advertising?
No, no, so I wanted to go to advertising school triple A, right? Because that's
Right.
like still the
That's
school
the
to go
thing.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
and my parents are old school, so they didn't offer degrees. So my friend, you gotta get a degree first. I was like, ah. So I ended up like
Right.
going to the like worst place ever. Not the worst place, but like for someone like me, so I ended up going to like varsity college, doing
Right.
but you see the thing is, so this is the crazy part, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm 18 years old. I finished school. I never met a white person in my life, right?
Right?
So,
Wait, are you serious? Like, no cap.
I went to school, like, yo, the way Cape Town is set up at that time, like, yo,
You're
you
never
see the
bumping into
people,
a person and shit.
you see them, but you never had any friends. Like, you don't connect, right? So I
Right.
went there, and it was like a culture shock, like going from like normal, like colored government school to
Yeah.
like being the only person of color in your class. That's fucking weird. That's a mind fuck.
Yeah. What
And I
the
didn't,
fuck?
the fuck, the behavior change, everything. And you must remember that's like the rich kids that weren't smart enough to get into like, you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
UCs and that.
yeah,
So them
yeah,
motherfuckers had like attitude, bro. Like, yo, that was like, yo, like, those were wild boys. You know what I'm saying? The wild boys,
yeah.
wild girls, whatever. Anyway,
Damn.
like, it didn't really like work for me. Like, I couldn't, like, it was nobody's fault. It was just the culture shock was too much.
That's not working for you.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, okay, fine, fuck it. Like, so I left, right? I didn't
Right.
finish. And I
But why did
decided
you
to,
leave? Did you leave because of the culture shock? Like, that's
yeah,
just
and like it
that
was like
crazy.
bro, it's like, I mean, like, yo, it was a lot, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
also like some personal
Wow.
shit, family shit, and all that. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I just need a break. I mean, and then, but the whole time we used to hustle, like, man, like sneakers, all that, like, blah blah. And then took a break,
Were you,
ended
were you
up working
slanging
at a,
sneakers?
nah, not yet, but like I've been into it, so like I've been
Right.
hustling eBay, all that stuff, like all that stuff, and then I ended up working at a bank, bro, dead ass, like.
What the fuck you mean? A bank? Did I
Yo,
call you?
hear me out, bro. Like an admin clerk, bro. I used to fold envelopes at the bank. I used to fold people's statements, right? I was like, yo, this is whack. But the whole time I was it paid well. So
Right.
get checked, go straight to the store, ball out, bro. The whole shit, from clothes, internet,
Word.
online, shoes, all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
So that's
yeah, yeah.
that. So like, yo, it wasn't all bad, right? Anyways,
Nah,
like
not at all.
I finished my degree through UNISA, so correspondence, right? And I'm like, yo, I can't be working under people I'm smarter than. Yo, fuck that. You know what I mean? And then I used to look at people. I'm like, yo, like, nah, this is not right, bro. My parents didn't,
Yeah.
struggle all that shit for me to, take all this from you. Fuck out of here. So I didn't come back. I left that shit, right? So
Right.
I finished my degree. Then I linked up. Like, so I was always like doing the shoes, all that shit. And then my
Yeah.
cousin called me one day. My cousin, and he worked at this company called Instant Grass. Like, we spoke about this
Right.
in the
Yeah,
undergrad.
yeah, yeah.
And I went there. He's like, yo. I'm like, yo, what? Like, I heard about it because I'm interested in marketing stuff. But I man, like when you're in, like when you still in there in the hood, like you
Yeah.
don't, like, that shit's not for you yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit feels so far away. My cousin's like, yo,
Right.
pull up. There's one of the clients is sneakers. They want to do a presentation, sneaker cleaning brand, Kimi
Right.
at the time.
Yeah.
This is like, and I'm like, yo, I'm on the couch, yo, blazed up, watching Rachel Ray and Ricky Lake, bro.
You
And my cousin's
definitely
like,
pulling
yo, I'm
up.
gonna come fetch you. It's free beer, it's free pizza, and they'll pay you like $200 just to come. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
you
Say
definitely
no more,
going.
fam. Say no more. Picks me up. He picks me up, Vi, whatever. Like, I just connect with the people. I just connected, and they kept inviting me back, making money, doing all that stuff. And
Right.
then one day they had Nike was a client on the project.
Right.
So they were like, yo, we got this. So they told Nike, like, yo, we got this dude. We're gonna go shoot at his house. We're gonna shoot a video. We're gonna send it to you.
Right.
And they sent it to Nike. They came to my house. They just went through my collection. They sent it to Nike. Nike was like, yo, they called me back. They didn't. They
Yeah.
called me straight back, and they're like, yo, we in town. Me in Cape Town. We've got people from Nike London here. Blah blah. We wanna come to your house. They're cool. I'm like, yo, this is a joke. This is my fucking friends pranking me. But anyway, I got my hair cut. I got my
Pull
shit
up.
looking right. Just in
Yeah.
case it's real. Just in case it's real.
Just in case.
Just in case. If they don't
Yeah.
come, I won't be scared because this is what I know. But
I already,
just in case,
I knew,
you know,
just in case.
just in
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers pull up, bro. People
You
from
shook.
London. Yeah,
You
they're going through
shook.
the collection and yo, where did you get this? Like, we don't, yo, blah blah blah. We didn't know people like this exist in South Africa, blah blah blah. And
Word.
this is before social media, right? This is maybe
Right.
just Facebook, no Twitter, nothing.
Yeah.
Pull up, blah blah. Like, they opened a store in the waterfront. They used me in the campaign. Me and Benny McCarthy. like the
Right.
heroes of Cape Town. So it was that. And then we just built from there, bro. It's like for 9 years. I was with family for 9 years. The first sneaker they ever sent me was a Nike Easy One.
Imagine.
Yo, now imagine how guest I was, yo. Team Arsenal, bro. Team
Yeah, dude.
Arsenal.
I was so what's this? I was watching this Hunting for Kicks with MK, and
MK, yeah.
like you were wearing, like you used to religiously wear your Yeezy, bro. Like
Yeah.
what the
You
fuck,
play
dog?
five
Like,
beside in the chest to swag, bro.
what the fuck you
I want
mean? I would have,
this just
I
to say
would,
you went up on this. You
yo, I
know?
could never, dude. I could
Yeah, but you
never.
must
So
know
now,
at that time, bro. At that time, it's like I was a kid, I was a baby. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
and I didn't know about the resale, and that wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? It was just a.
yeah,
And also in South Africa, like people didn't like you could pull up with the. I remember the first night I wore the Yeezys, right? Somebody
right.
asked me, bro, what kind of Jordans is that? It's like
It's not a Jordan, dude.
it's not a Jordan, it's a Yeezy. Who's Yeezy? I'm like,
What?
whoa, whoa.
We
Like,
shouldn't be talking right
listen,
now.
back then, it's like, yo,
Yeah,
I need to leave. I'm not in the right establishment, you know.
definitely. Yeah, I gotta
In
be.
other
I'm wearing the wrong
establishment.
shoes
I need to.
at the wrong
I need to go to
place.
kitcheners right now, bro.
Yeah, no cap. So now
No
tell
cap.
me how did you so I know I spoke about this the last time, but I just want to act like the last time didn't happen in case no one watches the last one and everyone watches this one. So now how did the transition from you being Hayski, Cape Town, and you being now known in Joburg? Because you know, like in what we do,
Yeah.
we do know that like there's different like cliques. I wouldn't necessarily say cliques, but you
Yeah.
can be hard in Cape
It's just
Town
like
and not be hard
yeah.
in Joburg. You can be hard in Joburg and
For
be a
sure.
lukewarm in Cape Town, but you can be
Yeah,
hot in
yeah,
both
yeah.
cities too. You know what I mean? Just
Exactly.
based on
And like
like the transition.
nobody's hot in Durban. Only Durban dudes is hot in Durban.
Durban is
You know
Durban,
what I
yeah,
mean?
because Durban is its own
Ah,
economy, bro.
Durban
Like
is Durban.
niggas is making their own money up in there. Like they don't need to come this side to like make
Exactly, bro.
it.
So answer the question is like so like basically the Nike stuff, right? So I think you freeze. You look like you froze. But anyway, so like the Nike stuff. So obviously via those campaigns and stuff, people started figuring out who I was. And then I used to work at Shelf Life. I used to help them out when the stores got busy. And then Jake Lipman and Anthopoulos was living. Jake worked at the store. He was a manager, and he introduced me to everybody. That yo,
Now those stress is not your fault.
the last
Yeah,
time was
so
probably my phone because I
yeah,
used my
no, no,
burner phone. You know what I mean?
nah,
I
it's
used
all
my trap.
good, man. Nah, don't worry, it's all good. We back. That's all that matters. We back. You gave me your time.
So to answer your
Durban.
question, it
Yeah.
was like the Nike stuff for the most part that like introduced me to that city. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like everybody was like, "Yo, who the fuck is this?" Like, "Yo, who's
Who is this
this? Why
guy?
this? Why him? Why him? Why him?" And then like through like fire, like when Twitter started opening and BBM, like there used to be BBM who Pico from
Yeah.
Boys and Boxes too, and like my biggest connection to Joburg at that specific time was Jake Lipman. I don't know if you know Jake. So Jake Lipman
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned his name. I was literally on YouTube before we got into this call, and I saw the Hunting for Kicks with Jake Lipman. Like
yeah,
literally,
yeah.
like no cap.
So Jake was like the first dude from Joburg to come to Cape Town, right? And he was cool
Right.
with Sunil and everybody and all that stuff. I think if I speak under correction, but he used to manage the first Cheshire in Rosebank back in the day. So that's how he
Okay.
knew everybody. The night
Right.
everybody like Poison Parks, MK, and then he came to Cape Town and he managed Shelf Life for a long time.
Right.
And I used to work there at Shelf Life. Like I used to
Yeah.
help out, not on like whenever they needed extra and like festive season, all that they'd call me because I was in the store every day, like just
Right. So
bumming
you
around
know
the store
everything.
anyway.
Right.
And
Right.
like they
Right.
would come in, customers like people from Joburg would come in because it became after a while.
So
It became
wait,
a
I need to ask you
relationship.
something. Why are you saying this? I'm sorry to interject you, but like, I'm guessing you don't stand in the lines at Shelf Life when there's a raffle ticket vibe, huh?
Bro, I haven't paid for shoes since '09, my G. That's a different story.
So I can give you a call like, yo, yo,
Don't do
yo.
that. Don't do that to me on a public forum, my G. Yo, you know
No,
what I mean?
I was just putting you on the spot.
Listen. You know how it go. You know how it go.
No. That's all good. Carry on. No, you can carry on. Yeah. Okay.
And then like everybody would come through the store, and Jake would introduce me to the people and all that stuff. And then Anthea Poulos was living in Cape Town at the time.
Right.
And she actually worked for Instant Grass for long. That's how I met her. So like
Right.
the two of them were the original plugs. And then like
one thing led to the other. That's just how it all begins. Like all you need to do is meet like one like-minded person, then you'll meet the other like-minded person, and then
we
meet the
started
next
doing a
one.
lot of work for brands and stuff, like original influence and stuff, and like and City Kid and all that. So we're traveling to Joburg a lot more, and Joburg also coming down a lot more.
Right.
So we would just like link, like we'd make an effort, like we know each other from BBM or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just put a face to the name, and luckily everybody just vibes,
Word. That's so dope, man. So no one came with like funny energy. So what did you say?
Also, I think a lot of the dudes, before they got to know us, you know what I'm saying, had that little trepidation, the Cape Town Color Boys, you know what I mean? Nobody smoke over there. Go want to smoke over there.
Yeah, that's what people always thought. Like, yo, that guy's from Cape Town. Yo, you want that smoke?
You know what I'm saying? They ain't got the Model C accents. They, you know what I mean? They I mean, you feel me?
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you 100%. So now, Hayden, so you now are a culture nerd, and I would say you study like basic human behavior, you know?
For sure.
So what would you say is different from, I wouldn't necessarily say on your guys' come up, because like you guys had, I feel like your generation really saw the culture bubble up and actually turn up into what it is, you know, the culture. So what would you say is different between back then and now? Because when I look at everyone that was around that era, I look at people that all know each other and people that all have really good terms with each other. You know what I mean? Like, let's say Tisetso Urban Musadi, let's say you guys, let's say Boogie, let's say you know, like even Vitat, I could even include him into that era. Like that's like the same era where I still feel like there's really no bad energy. And when I look at it now, it's like there's more cliques because it got bigger.
Exactly.
So like the culture got bigger. So now people like form cliques within cliques within cliques within cliques.
So what the main difference is, I'd say this, like back then we were the weird kids, right? So like what we did and what we were into, it wasn't mainstream yet. So we were like Tumblr, like that Tumblr generation.
Right.
Like streetwear and sneakers and all that shit was still like perceived by middle class as ghetto. And
right.
Why are you wearing that?
Yeah.
So, and like when we found each other, so like Ricky, Malooms, MK, and like everybody from that era, like when we found each other, was like, I'm not alone, you know? And it just became like a little thing. And then it blew up. And it became like, now it's actually a thing. It's not going anywhere. So so now it's this like, so, and back then there was no rings to grab at, you know? It was just people that love it. Now there's money, there's brand deals, there's all this stuff. And there's
so now there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons to be fake. Because there's money.
And the minute there becomes like tangible money and like things like the energy change, you know what I mean? Because there's not one for everybody. There's one, and everybody wants to grab it, you know.
Right.
And I think that type of competition, and I don't think there's many people that don't really like each other, but it's like it's seen as competition, and it's a business now, you know. So back in the day, it was just fun. Like, we just glad we weren't the only ones, you know.
Yeah.
That
makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So now, what did you say about sneaker culture? Because I'm sure you hate when someone that you knew back then out of nowhere is like, yo, I'm a sneakerhead. Are people allowed to do that?
Listen, I don't own the culture. You can do what you want.
Of course. No, but you know what I mean. It's not about owning the culture. It's like for me, I hate niggas that print on garments and then they say I'm a designer. Like, nah, dog, you print on garments and you're a graphic artist.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, like, yo,
yeah,
I'm a
graphic
sneakerhead, but I
artist.
only got Jordan 1s. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I mean. Like
Um,
I wouldn't lie to you. I was actually thinking about it
I
the
know,
other day.
and I know exactly what you mean. I knew exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because look, I
It's
was
like,
thinking about it the other day. How? Because I was just thinking about in my shoes. Like, have I ever thought of like sneakers like that? You know? And it hit me that shit. Actually, not really. Like, I know I know what looks good with the fit. You know? But
yeah,
I'm a fit guy. Like, what all that's on my feet just has
bro.
to complement my fit. It doesn't have to be the most rare. It doesn't have the most
No, doesn't
latest.
have to be
But
a collab. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
but
like
the truth
you.
that I can tell you is that a really rare shoe turns heads. I won't lie. I won't
No,
lie.
for
No
sure,
matter
for
how
sure.
sick the fit is,
Listen, it's a
but
balance.
with
It's
a
a balance,
nice
right?
pair of shoes, like you turning heads.
It's
Sick
a
fit is
balance.
a rare pair.
No, but bro, like right in isolation, in theory, a nice pair of shoe turns heads, right? But when
Yes,
you go to the event and everybody have the shoe, how many heads are you turning? Do you know what I mean?
zero, zero. But if
So
the fit is
I
talking, you turning heads
no,
everywhere.
bro, because that's when you get down. Like a O can come and say like with an off-white J1, right? That's hype shit, right? That's crazy. That's gonna turn heads, right?
Right.
But there's some and its fit can be whack generic, bro. Like yo, you
Yeah.
got the off-whites on, but you know what I'm saying? Your jacket's from H&M rack. Fuck out of here, you know.
Yeah.
And then you get somebody who will just pull in with like let's just say like some Vans OG slip-ons, right? With
Right.
the fire obscure fitted denim with the you know what I'm saying with the archive jacket and
Yeah. Now you're like, oh
wow,
shit.
yo,
Okay, guy.
that's my guy. That's my
Word.
guy. You know what I mean?
Word.
But
Now
at
I
the
feel
same
you.
time, it's like as I got older, I mellowed out a little bit. Like back in the day, oh fuck you, this is our shit, blah blah blah. But as I got
Yeah.
older, I was like, you know what? Like I don't own this shit. I'm not a gate. I don't want to be a gatekeeper. I don't
Hundred
like
percent, bro.
because that's gatekeepers are usually the people that do the least but have the most to say. You know.
Because they
I
feel like
mean,
they own something that
and they're
they haven't
scared.
even
They're
worked for.
scared. No, because they're scared because that's all they got.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's
they're
cool
some
because
scared
dude,
some kid's gonna take it away.
some little nigga came at me the other day. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say a little nigga, but like I would say a little nigga based on how he came at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, so there's this
childish.
design that, yeah, there's this design I'm working on. It's like a remake of a t-shirt that I had as a kid, right? And so I made it like a mock-up, and I guess I posted on my WhatsApp, and whoever is on my WhatsApp that's like a slave or
Yeah.
PI, screenshot it and send it to this nigga. And this nigga goes on Facebook and he starts going crazy, you know? Look, for me personally, I don't like reacting at shit, but
Nah,
don't come at my creative capacity, you
exactly.
know what I mean? Like
Because
don't try to say I bit something when I know I didn't bite it, you know? So this kid comes up going
especially we
crazy
don't
like,
understand,
yo,
bro.
yeah, this kid comes at me
And
going like
they'll
crazy,
pull the
like,
shit
yo,
like that.
I did it first, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, dog, this is the one thing I saw that the art, like especially in South Africa, people that don't get is that, dude, if you reference something from someone, bro, anyone else can reference it. Like it's not
Nothing's
your, it's like
original.
sampling a song. Yeah, it's like sampling a song and then it's like I sample a song and then you sample the same song I sampled. And I'm like, yo, Hayden, you stole my song. Like, dog,
No, it
it's not your
wasn't. It
song to
wasn't your
begin
song
with,
to
dog.
begin, bro.
That's exactly
And
what I'm trying to say to this kid. And this kid is not getting still like, yo, well, why did you come up? I'm like, dude, that's not the point. Like, yeah, cool. You twisted it, but now I'm recreating it how I'm seeing the concept. You know what I
exactly,
mean?
bro.
Like,
And a
so
lot of
like,
these people
what's your view on that? You know what I mean?
bro, like I just start to mix. You know what I mean? Like, and like if somebody want to talk shit, it's cool. Let's talk shit. But like, yo, pull up season don't have an end date. You feel me? Keep it energy.
Pull up season don't have an end date. I will
Know what I
also
mean?
like I'm gonna use that. Pull up season ain't got an end date, bro. That's no cap.
Keep it energy, beloved. Keep it energy. And the
Yeah,
thing
keep
is,
that
like,
energy.
it's crazy because, like, you'll see people like, yeah, you understand they're passionate about their work. Oh, but and that's the mistake young kids make, right? They jump in first. They don't learn. They don't sit on the sidelines and absorb the game, and then
Right,
just jump deep and straight away. They don't know there's sharks in the water, right?
right.
So just sitting, watching, absorbing, stealing with your ear, stealing with your eye.
Yes,
I mean, and
right.
just because for me, whatever I do and whatever like things I get into, whether it be a hobby or whatever, like I take like at least a year, and I just sit
Right.
on the sidelines and soak everything up. Read, why does this exist? Woo, wah, wah. Who did it
Right.
first? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool. So like when somebody comes at you like that, you can just say like, yo, but Virgil did this and so and so. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can
Right.
have the conversation,
You have like something to
and
say.
like
You got
people
like
like just
substance.
jump out the mix, and like a lot of those people are like that. They don't last long. That's why you see everyone just fall off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's same like with clothing and that stuff, right? It's same like with
Hmm.
t-shirts. Let's talk t-shirts, right? There's
Right.
difference between a clothing brand and somebody that makes merch. You know what I mean?
Yes. hundred
There's a
percent.
big difference. Yeah, on surface value, things might look similar,
Yes,
but
but they're not.
once you go deep, you understand though, this motherfucker cut this shit to fit like this. You bought a box of Gildans. Not that there's anything wrong with it, right? Nah, like
There's
for
nothing
real.
wrong.
Cause like I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna drop some merch, but it's not a clothing project. It's
It's just
merch. You know what I
merch.
mean?
Right.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
wrong with it, but you need to know the difference, right?
yeah. Mm.
Because
And
also,
titles matter.
cause at some point, if you get where you want to go, you're not gonna be shooting shots at Bangy and Haiti. You're gonna be shooting shots at people who know what they're doing. You're gonna look stupid. So
Yeah,
like,
100%, bro.
yeah, you can shoot shots at us. It's
100%.
fine. We know what I'm saying, it's cool, whatever.
You're
But
probably
like,
gonna laugh about it, but when you get into
you
like
don't, and
real
also you don't know
places,
who's watching. You don't know who's watching,
ah,
right?
you never
So like,
do.
say I you want to collab with Puma, right? But I
Yeah.
see you and Bangy, and I know Bangy is that's my guy, and I
Yes.
know what Bangy stands for, and you taking shots, and I look at your argument, and I be like, yo, but you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're in
And
your
he's my
fields,
guy.
yeah. You're in your
Yeah.
fields. You'll never work with me, and you don't even know. You just blackball yourself,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
like that's how you gotta watch how you move, and you gotta watch how you say, and like sometimes like
Especially on social
if you
media,
feel
bro.
away,
That's
like
on no cap.
if you feel away, like yo, sleep it off. Now I'm saying have some sleep. Wake up in the morning if you feel the same way.
Then
Jump,
go ahead. Yeah.
pull up.
Go ahead.
But don't
I,
like
I'm
yo, and it's a game. This whole thing is strategy. You know, like you gotta watch how you move, all that stuff. And especially if you haven't done anything, you can't be shooting at people who have. You know.
honestly, bro. That's my chat, bro. Like that's always my chat, but I don't want to sound like you have to
Yeah.
do something in order to have a voice. You know what I mean? Like
No.
because
True. True.
that's a bad narrative because that always
But when
it's a
you
bad and a good. It's a bad and a good because what we're saying is in order for you to join this conversation, bro, like
you must earn it.
have some
You
substance
have to you
under
have to
your
earn it, right?
yeah, like to
And
join
the
this
thing is,
big pad
you're
chat,
exactly right. Like I believe what you say. Like everyone has the right to a voice, but like when you go into specifics and you go into
be
like
very sure, bro.
work
Be
and you
knowledgeable
go
about the
into like
topic.
things like clothing and then it's different. Life is
Yeah,
fine, but when you go
yeah.
in and you're not taking shots at what people's work, yo, come on, you know.
Now it's like, yo, bro, what you mean, bro? My credibility's on the line and you're talking about shit you don't even
Exactly.
know, bro? Like you're just
I
sucking it out
mean,
of your thumb?
do you ever
Like
do you ever see the moon howling back at the dog? Never.
a young poet, eh? Hey, you're a poet
Sure.
or what?
Listen, bro. Listen. I'm a thugged out philosopher. You feel me?
So now look, dude, I want to ask you something. If you, because I know you love traveling, bro. Like you literally
Yeah.
all about traveling. If you had to get offered a job abroad, like after COVID, well,
Yeah.
not necessarily after COVID, because I don't think there's
Thanks.
gonna be an after COVID. But
Yeah.
like once
In the
things like
future.
easing up, if someone
Depends. So like,
offered you a job abroad, like would you take it?
oh yeah,
I know
that's
it's
the goal.
actually
You
like a
know,
tricky question because you already
that's the
have a
plan.
job, but it's like, come on.
That's why you never see me like getting in the mix with like local dudes and like local people, like blah blah blah. Cause
Yeah.
that's not my last stop. Now I'm saying that's my last
Uh-huh.
stop. You know.
Okay,
So like
okay, okay, okay.
listen, bro, I'm not trying to get stuck in the mud here with these dudes. You know,
Yeah.
like I arguing and fighting and calling people out. Like, even though I have opinions, I just like yo,
Right.
focus on the big picture.
Right.
So I'd love to work for like a big house, a fashion house, like a Vuitton or whatever. That's like my
Yeah.
life goal. Like I'd love to work for Rick Owens. Like that's my
Yeah. Hey,
dream.
Rick Owens,
That's
bro.
Rick
Yeah.
Owens, Iris Van Hoffen. I like to work for Nigo. Um,
Good.
yeah. So that's my big
Got
dreams, you
big
know,
dreams, bro. You can reach all
bro.
those
Like
dreams. You know, you're never too
listen,
late. You
bro.
know what I'm
We
saying?
we only got one chance at this. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, like
That's how
Buffalo.
don't
Shit.
care, bro. I would like.
But
I'm
and the
trying.
thing is like,
I wish I could design for like a house. Like I want to
yeah.
like try design out of dead. Like I wouldn't say
No,
I'm
but that
tired,
you
but I'm
should.
just trying to see how far my imagination can go. Like, because right now I'm designing out of comfortability, because
That's
like
what you should be designing.
like I prove, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I design how I want, but I want to be put into a room where I'm designing based off a brief, or like I just want to see. I want to
Yeah.
challenge my designing. Like, I want to
And
challenge my designing.
that's the completely right way to do it. So I tell kids the same thing. Like if you wanna like work, if you want don't work brand side first. That's your biggest. Go to an agency. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to. If you like, it's easy to work on a Puma, right? Like it's easy to
Right,
work on a Coca-Cola. It's easy to work on a Nike, Adi, whatever, right? That don't make you hard. If you
right.
can make a own mutual band, if you can make a Capitec,
Anything, dog.
if you can make that shit bang, then you're good. Do you know what I mean? Don't judge yourself on how well you do the hot shit, because that's easy.
Yeah,
You know what I
because it's
mean?
already hard. Yeah, no cap.
I'm saying
Yeah,
like you just maybe increasing the heat, cool, but that fire
right,
was already there.
right.
If you work on brands like fucking like random ass shit like Omucho, Capitec, Santam, like out like those type of, and you make that shit bang, bro. Like that's why I always have a lot of respect for the Alan Gray adverts. You know what I mean? That's
Right,
so like for me that's power. Like you
right.
can do hard shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
once you do that, then you can do what I do. Then you can do what that's. So like
Right.
what you doing, like that mindset and that approach is really cool. You should do it. Like if it don't make
I'm
you feel
trying. I just don't know
uncomfortable, if it don't
which.
make
I
you
just
feel
don't know
uncomfortable,
which.
bro,
Yeah,
like
that's what I've learned too. But I
fuck it
also at
out,
the
bro.
same
Like
time, don't wanna, because that shit is a disease. That disease of like, yo, if I'm too comfortable, things are I need to
yeah,
push myself, because that means now my whole life I'm gonna be when I want to feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I think for me more than anything, my definition of success is like I just want to create at my own peril. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like create
no, for sure.
anything and any time. Like if I wake up right now and I feel like, yo, I want to make sunglasses. Fuck, I make sunglasses. Like that's like
Mm.
my ultimate goal. Like I can make
But
anything.
you built that though. Like you're not a kid anymore, so you built that. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
brand's recognizable, and
Right,
you've
right,
been
right, right,
around.
right,
Like
right.
like I mean, like you've dealt with TFG. You've dealt with all the so you know the game.
Guys I'll never
Like
deal with. Yeah, again. But anyway.
listen, that we can't talk about that shit. That's my
No, no,
guy.
no, no. Look, you can. I definitely can, because for me it's like I'm like where I stand as someone that owns a brand. I stand like, if you can't, like, I'm not because I feel like I'm a boss and I can put
Yeah.
bread on my own like plate. I feel
Mm.
like if someone fucks me over, I'm gonna be very vocal about it, no matter what's the
Listen,
outcome. You know what I mean?
but like you live and you learn. Like if you hadn't gone through whatever you went through there,
I wouldn't know.
exactly, and you came out though, right? You know what I mean? It's not the worst
Damn,
situation.
100%.
Bro,
That's
it's
why,
like,
like, I just let it go immediately. It's like, okay, this
yeah,
happened. Cool. What's next now?
exactly. Like you keep them, like you get people that will fucking cry and hang on. I mean, I don't want to minimize anybody's experiences or anything, but like,
Right.
yo, we hustlers,
Wake
like
up. Let's make it work.
we
What's
keep it
next?
moving. Alright, cool.
Yeah. What's
We like
next, man?
you never really. I know it's a cliche, but like you either win or you learn. You know what I mean? You only lose
Yeah.
when you don't learn from that situation.
Yeah. 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 So now you are what's this? So let's start here.
I
You in your family, how many siblings do you have, if you don't mind me
just
asking?
me and my sister. I have a younger
You and your
sister.
sister. So your younger
Yeah.
sister is actually also a sneakerhead, but she's
Hard,
still a
bro.
sneakerhead right
Let me
now.
explain something to you. Let me explain something to you right now, right? All
Yeah.
like the girls on sneakers, like posting pictures, all that. They
That's
only
cool and
can
all,
do
but
that
you know the real boss.
because my sister don't fuck with social media, right? My
Right.
baby, she don't fuck with that shit. But if she did, we're at, bro. We're at. Like, like,
Have you
but
tried
like,
getting her on?
no, she does have social media and stuff, but like, she's just like the attention and like that, all that stuff. Like, she's low
Yeah, she
key, you
gets
know
too
what I mean?
much. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And also like also so like a boyfriend plays in the PSL, so that's also like it gets hectic sometimes, like on socials and all that. So they just like chill, you know?
Right, right. Yeah, that makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense. Yeah, yeah, I would do the
yeah.
same. I would do the same. So, okay, let's say for argument's sake, let's say tomorrow we had to go back into the real world.
Mm. Yeah.
Where's the first country you're going to?
Japan, bro. What you mean?
Like like
Harajuku
legit.
Heishi, bro. Harajuku Heishi. What you know? Know what I'm
What's up
saying?
with your love with Japan? Like, what's up? Because I know
So
you
let me
love
explain. Let me break
Japan.
it down. Let me break it down for you.
Right.
So as a kid, before sneakers and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I used to. I'm still at to this day. I'm super into cartoons and like comics and that stuff, right?
Right.
So back in the day, like the best cartoons came from Japan, like
Right.
Gundam Seed, Pole Position, all that stuff, right? That or at least Japanese style, right?
Right.
And that's how I got into that. And then as I got older, so I always had this fascination with, and as I got older, like music, so like hip hop culture is really big there. So like when I didn't even know the song Most Deaf Traveling Man, right? When that came out, check it out after this if you don't know it.
Yeah, I'll check it out because I don't
It's
know it.
produced by the Scat. Bro, I promise you when you hear it, you'll be like, this is I know this song. Right? It's
Okay.
like
Okay. I'm gonna check
like
it
one
out.
of the greatest rap songs of all time. And it's
Okay.
produced by a cat named DJ Honda. And he's like
Right.
Japanese sample and like he raps like talks about how he travels and all that stuff. And like
Right.
there has a Japanese like the folk sample in there, like you'll know it when it will click immediately. And got into like that, and then obviously sneakers, like just sneak fashion and sneakers there is super
Right.
intense. But I think feel like that Bape wave, that OG Bape wave with Nigo and
Mm-hmm.
Pharrell,
Mm-hmm.
that's like what got me like super obsessed, and then like got into it. And you start finding out about the Japanese salvage denims and all that stuff, and you
Uh-huh.
realize like how like the workwear and the hand sewn and the pat like ah. And I was like, wow, that's stuff over there. And the
You sound
fact that
so
was
passionate about the fashion. That's it. What the
bro,
fuck? It's crazy.
and then you, but the fact that they were so mysterious and like they just did it for them, they're so insular, right?
Right. Right.
That, so like for me, like as a person, if something is explained to me fully and it's in front of me, it turns it. I don't fuck with it. I need to unlock it myself, right?
Right.
That's why I haven't been to America yet, because like I feel like I'll be if I go there, I'm gonna see everything I've seen before. You know what I mean?
Right. Because they've been
On TV,
showing
it's
us to us,
everywhere.
dude.
Exactly, right?
Like,
So Japan, bro.
okay. So now you just
Tokyo.
spoke about fashion capital and all that. So what's your view? Because you're talking about fashion, I want us to talk about just a bit about what's
Let's go.
happening back at home. So everything back at home. How do you see? Because I think this might be a very tough discussion to get into. But what's your view of how South African fashion will be like in about like 5 years? Because I know in the past 5 years a lot has changed. Like a
Yeah.
lot has really changed. Because like 5 years ago, a lot of South African content wasn't in our faces via like
Yeah.
designs, and we only knew about David Tlale. You know what I mean? Like that's literally
Yeah.
the only
Yeah.
designer we knew. Like when we talk about South African fashion,
Yeah.
and now today there's a lot. So like, what's your view on that, and
I think it's
how do
gonna
you
be
think it's gonna
amazing.
change?
I think it's gonna change. So I think it's changed. The change has happened already. The
Right?
ball's in motion. So think about it. Look at a fashion week, right? I fucking hate that shit. So
Why?
just because let me get into it, right? I don't. I
Right,
love the designers. I love the idea of South African. I think it's amazing. I think we need it.
right,
But it's in the periphery, right? Everything around it,
right,
I don't fuck with. So like why? Like there's people there to be seen and all that, and like people don't really give a fuck what's going on the show. Like after they leave the show, they forgot who the designer was, blah blah
right,
blah. And I
right.
know there's a lot of people that are folk that are good at what they do, but the majority, it's just become a thing. Like fuck
No,
the
but
design,
you're right.
fuck everything else.
Yeah.
It's the event. It's to be, and I think that's changing because like the kids now, like that was all like the bougie, top billion esque, that
Right.
corny celeb shit. And now, like,
It's
look at all
different.
the kids now. Like, bro, the energy, it's punk, it's DIY, it's grimy, it's dirty, it's
Right.
fuck you. Um, I mean, everything must burn. Like that's the
Right.
energy. Like even I feel it. Even like someone like me who's like down with the shits. Like I see sometimes you see kids that be like, "Yo, this old nigga gotta go,"
Yeah, definitely. You
No, but
see?
like you
So,
feel it, and I think that's healthy, and I love it. Like even though like maybe like I love the idea that everything must burn. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, yes,
Anarchy,
yes,
like no
definitely.
secret
Gotta burn
anymore.
for it to grow. Yeah,
Yeah,
everything
man.
gotta burn for it to grow.
And it's like you see, like I mean, Richard Nisi, um,
Yeah.
the stuff he dropped now. We did the footwear. We were sponsoring the footwear for the lookbook.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have a
yeah, I saw
great
that.
relationship with him. Um, yeah,
I see you guys
man.
also have a low-key great relationship with Laduma. I see
That's
that
the
too.
homie.
I
That's the
see
homie.
that
Like,
too.
you know how that relates. Like, obviously we know each other, but we never really spoke whatever. And then one day he
Right.
hit me up like this year, in this year still. He's like, bro, ran me out, bro, out nowhere. He's like, he's slid in. He's like, yo, bro, do you still have any bitches must know much? And I was like, no. I was like, okay, I'm gonna check. But what's your shoe size and your delivery address? You know, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's your shoe size, bro?
I'm gonna tell you something, yo. Until then, yo, hold this. You know what I mean?
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, no, no, he's like probably one of the most humble like people
Yeah.
I've met like in a minute.
Yeah.
I've met quite a lot, but anyway, damn, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. So now, which goes right into my next question. So, Richard Nisi and like brands. So how do you
Yeah.
pick which brand to like give like sneakers to a sponsor, like
So
sneakers
like.
to, and do they get paid?
It depends. Like a lot of the time, I don't. They reach out to me
Right,
because it's important. Like as a brand, like yeah, it's cool. You have your campaigns or whatever, but the kids are smart these days. They don't really give a fuck about like you shouting how cool you are. You know what I mean?
yes,
And like
100%.
so how I made rich was on a yacht actually.
Right,
Um, so one of my best friends, Annalisa Manku, she
right,
introduced us, and like obviously I knew he was whatever. And we chatted. I was like, "Yo, I dig your vibe, energy." We just hit it off like mates
right,
first. And then he's like, "Yo, I don't know how this works, whatever, but we're doing a runway or lookbook, whatever it was. Like, yo, you wanna what's can you swing some shit?" I'm like, "Yo, bro, say less, fam." You know, and it just works out for them. But it's a burden off their back, you know, when they're doing
right,
all these high production shows. There's one less thing for them to worry about. They know like we don't have any obligation from them. Like you don't have to say
right.
we don't say thank you. It's not you don't owe us anything. You know,
Mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm.
we happy to be a part that you thought we good enough to be a part of this shit. You know,
Right,
um, and we just build from there. Like you know, like and it's just like there's no template of how these things work and all that. And it's with
right.
culture, like with culture, you as a brand you don't dictate what the play is, right?
Mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
the culture has to let you in and say this is the rule you want to be here. There's
Right.
unwritten rules and codes and content, and that's why like when I see brands like to influence especially in our world,
Yes.
I cringe, bro, because I'm like, yo,
Same
that's not
here.
like, yo,
Same
don't
here.
tell
Same
don't
here.
tell the people, don't tell these people, the kids out there to use these hashtags and click these links. Fuck that. I'm saying if
Yeah,
they
no cap.
if they want you, they know where to find you. You know what I'm saying?
100%, bro. I feel the same way. One
Yeah.
thing I don't like is how brands have like they've attached everything to numbers, bro. And that's like for me, that's how everything is losing like its authenticity because everything
Yeah,
is like
bro.
numbers based. Like the other day I can't mention this brand, like I'm not gonna mention it here, but I had a brand asking um like they wanted to kind of put money to Dead Radio.
Mm.
And they were just looking at the numbers and like I told them that like yo bro like this is something very new and for me I'm not gonna compromise um my how the rollout should be in my head just to get you guys the numbers that you guys want, you know.
And it's
So
always
it's either
quality
you
over
guys want to
quantity,
grow
bro.
100%. So I was like to them, it's either you guys want to grow with the direction we're headed in, um, or you guys just want to find us when we have high numbers and just put money into it. And one thing I've noticed in South Africa is that people just don't want to grow
They
with
don't
brands
understand it,
or
bro. It's
people.
like you
Like
know,
that's
like
the weird thing for me.
I'm in a fortunate position where like I'm brands hit me up all the time like to do work outside of like my job, and I say
Right.
no most of the time because it's like, yo, you like pardon my language, but like I'm not no hoe, you know what I mean? Like I'm not
Yeah.
like you can't bend me, you know.
Right.
Like even
Right.
like
Right.
brands like I'm obviously we won't mention names, but like sneaker related or like periphery to the sneaker
Right.
industry hit me up like, yo, you wanna do this, you wanna do that, bro? I'm like, I don't even pick up the phone for under 100K. Like, yo, I mean, no,
Tell
no
them,
cap.
bro. Now you've been in
If
the
you
game for
listen,
long, bro. That's a fair amount. I mean, come on.
bro, and like shout out, I do a lot of work with like alcohol brands, so
Yeah.
like Martel, like yo, Martel, fucking, they so great, bro. Like they look after me so well. Like the
Right.
ad, myself and Reason in the ad, like the bag was, and then they took us to Cognac Paris for
Oh
that last
yeah.
trip. This year, just
Yeah,
before
yeah,
that,
yeah.
bro, bro,
You're probably like, what?
I could literally walk into Go Yard and drop racks in Euro
Dude, I'm
just
always curious
from
about
that
how
shit.
deals like that work. Like, do they like come up to you and they be like,
Yeah,
yo,
I don't
so
approach
we,
nobody. So me,
so
I don't
like they
approach
come up
nobody.
to you, dude. That's the one
Yeah.
thing I've been
Like, yo,
trying
this is
to solidify because I feel like when you base, because look, a lot of people might get us wrong, but I feel like I don't like proposing because I feel like when I start basing everything on who I propose to, I feel like
yeah.
I'd be losing my authenticity. You know what I mean?
And
Because now I'm
also
trying
if
to
they
see who's
approach
gonna
you,
bend over. They know what I'm
if
coming with.
they approach you first, you got the leverage. You know what I mean? Like if you
Yes.
came to me, my guy, yo,
What's good?
you call me to disrespect me. Now I'm like, what's good? Like,
Yeah, no cap.
bro.
No cap. So
And like
now,
once I tweeted out once this year still people came at me funny. It's like,
yeah,
yo, like it's like when influencers like talk about the amount of brands they work with, that's not a good look. Do you know what I mean?
it's not.
And like, cause like the less you work with,
The better you are.
um,
Because you're too niche. You know what you're
exactly,
looking
like
for.
yo, and people like yo, this like they said it's a like I never we only South Africa will people say your work experience is too much. Like I'm like that's not work experience. Your money is your job as an influencer is to make people believe. And the minute you once that curtain gets pulled so far back and the strings are showing, it's a wrap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I 100% believe you. Yeah. That's actually what like I know I'm gonna mention this again. You might think it's a flex, though it's not, but that's literally what my PA was telling me just
PA
yesterday and the day
flex.
before. No, it's not a flex. Just that it's
Having a
just
PA is a
interesting.
flex.
It's not a
A
flex.
young
This is
black
the first
man
show.
under
It's not
50
a
with a
flex.
PA is a flex.
It's not a flex.
If you're under 40 and you have a PA, that's a flex, bro. Especially as an independent business owner. It's one
Yeah,
thing if you
man.
work in corporate and you have a PA, that's fine. But when you work for yourself and
Nah,
you
there's just
have
too much
a
going
PA,
on. There's just too much going on. So she was telling me how, because I like, dude, I don't like hiding shit, bro. I'm gonna keep it
yeah,
100. Like, I don't like hiding anything to anyone. You know what I mean? Like, how I
yeah,
work is how I work. And if I can show it to you, I will. If I don't want to, then I don't want to. And that's that.
exactly. Because
So,
the money's not in what you do, it's how you do it. Now I mean I can show you everything, but
100%.
you're not me. You're not gonna have the same
A
results.
100%. I used to
It's
have a
that
problem with that
swag.
in the
It's the
beginning.
intangible.
Yeah, it's the intangible, bruv. The intangible. So I was like to her, dude, I can show this. She's like, no, dude, some things are better if you don't show people. Just keep them in the loop. And I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I hear you, but like, that's not aesthetic. Like, if I can show you, I'm gonna show you, bro.
But at the
Like,
same time, bro, you gotta assess the situation. You know, like read the room, as they say.
yes,
Like, yo, if these
yes,
motherfuckers is just fishing, yo, for like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's why, like, I'm
yeah,
very like, and like when I as a brand guy deal with people and they're very like off guard and like, I understand. I don't get mad, like, cause
right.
you know, like I get it, like, and I try and lower the guard over time, you know. But a lot
Mm-hmm,
of brand people
mm-hmm.
just be like, yo, on some funny shit, but not necessarily the brand, but agency people. They be on some funny
It's
shit
the agency
because
people and maybe that
because
one or second guy. Hey,
because they're under pressure now, right? Advertising is
yes,
still very much white and it's all that, and they're running out of ideas. You know what I
yes,
mean? Because
they really are.
the scope, the microscope is on them,
Yes,
and they're getting pressure from the brand people, the people that pay the retainers now. Because those
yes.
people are getting younger. Like, look at me. Like, bro, I'm the same age as ASAP Rocky and Drake, and like, you know,
Right,
and the
right.
people's getting younger, and and the people that
That is
rely on
turning up
them
the heat.
exactly because because they from the shits for the most part,
Right.
or they put on the periphery of it. So now the agencies who had like because the brand manager was so for a long time. And
Yeah.
now it's off now. Now the eyes are wide open and like,
Now people really gotta perform.
yeah.
Yeah. So now, are you clued up with politics? Is that
I
like
have
something you
to.
look into?
I Yeah,
Why?
yeah. So
Why do you have
I
to?
don't get into it. Like, I mean, I don't get into debates and stuff. But like, you have to.
Definitely.
You
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
You have
Why do you
you
have to?
have to. And also, like, growing up, like my parents, like the news was always on, and like there was a
Right.
big, because both my parents are teachers, so there was a big focus on like world events, knowing what's going on. Like, you have to know. It's as someone whose job it is to navigate the ship of the brand through the world. You have to know what's going on.
Right. Right. So now, okay. I don't know why I even went into politics because my question is like, what our next discussion, probably the second last discussion, is not really necessary. The English is
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
vanishing.
yeah, yeah.
It's not necessarily politics based, but it has to do with that because
Yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
like there's something going on. You know what I mean? So I wanna, before we get into other things, I wanna talk about like the trafficking that's been happening. I'm sure you've been seeing like retweets on a daily basis at this point, like going back to last year type thing of
Yeah.
people or specifically women being,
The
going
GBV
missing.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
And
women going
yeah,
missing,
yeah.
right? So now, for me, I just want to pick your brain. Did you like? You need to understand before I go into this, that radio is really just about us talking about any
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
thing, bro. It doesn't not based on
Sure.
anything. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So I
And we
think,
have to talk about it.
yeah, yeah, we do. But like you see, so the female trafficking, what do you think could be the reason for the government not doing really anything with that gender-based violence and rape, bro?
But
Because
you must like, yeah.
yeah, no, carry on.
Because you must remember, like, us as a nation, not just the government, like South Africa as a nation, like, doesn't know how to deal with this. It's been happening for so long,
Right.
and it's not. I don't think it's happening more now. I just think it's more exposed
The
now.
spotlight is more now here.
Yeah, yeah. I
100%.
think after
100%.
generations and generations, like our, like, women, our mothers, grandmothers, all that, like, dealt with mad shit.
Right,
And
right, right.
and
I
I
could
think I
definitely believe
think
that.
and I think like I just don't think. I mean, this is a general statement. I just don't think the people who are supposed to be looking after this like know how to deal with it. I think a big part of it is because it's so normal in
Yes.
a fucked up
Yes.
weird way. It's so
Yes, yes, yes,
internalized
yes.
and so systemic.
Society.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like
I
yo,
kind of really hear
and
you.
and
Yeah.
and like you grow up in homes where things are swept under the rug and you don't speak about that, and like, and I think if we look at like the age profile of the people who are supposed to be taking care of these things, it's,
Hmm.
and I just think it's gonna. I think our generation, I think the next generation will take care of it better, but we can't wait that long.
We definitely
How many,
can't. We definitely can't.
how many
More
of
lives
our
we need to
women is
lose, bro.
gonna die, bro? How are we
You know
gonna?
what I mean?
It's sad. Like a lot. Sometimes I just like I read these stories and I'm like, yo, like I want to log off like Twitter, but you can't. Like that's not the right thing to do. And like me,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
personally, like when like they always say like you might not be a rapist yourself, but like you don't call out your friends when they say foul shit. Like
Yeah.
I've been called, I've lost friends now. Like people don't fuck like people I grew up with. Like don't fuck with me because like I leave the group when they make the jokes and stuff, and I call people. I'm like, bro, we don't do that anymore. Like yo, I understand you thought it was okay, but it's not. Now that you know it's not okay, you can't
Yeah. Yeah.
continue
And
with that shit.
one thing you said anymore stands out for me because, and I was explaining this to someone I just had a conversation with just yesterday that, you know, I don't like pointing fingers or putting blame on anyone, but I think the main issue is the fact that we as men aren't really taught how to treat women.
Boys will be
we
boys.
yeah, exactly. Like we take a lot of things that we look at based on movies and like a lot of protection that we receive from our mothers, and like we're not really accountable for much growing up, and that's
Nah.
why I always feel like the main basis of us changing this for me, like I'd like to dedicate my focus to like talking to the kids, you know what I mean? Because I think if I can nip it in the bud, it's better than
Yeah.
like trying to find the whole box. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like, if I
No,
can
I
just
get what
nip
you're
it in
saying,
the
bro.
bud, like,
I
so
get what
because
you're
like
saying.
this is rippling. I'm like, it's trickling down from generation to generation to generation to generation to
Bad, bro.
generation
It's
to
bad.
generation,
Like,
and which is based just off habitual bullshit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, so if we can like literally direct our energy towards actively doing something and not people coming onto the timeline and tweeting about it and telling them
yeah.
us how sorry they are, or people wanting us to do
Nah,
fucking marches. Like, dude,
bro.
like
We
you
need
like
to normalize beating them up, bro.
honestly speaking,
We
like
need to
this
pull
whole
up,
thing
bro.
of yo, let's go
Yeah,
to the streets and march and it's like, bro, we're gonna be marching next to perpetrators, dog. Like
yeah.
that's how pretentious we are as men. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
think,
Like
I think,
I
I
know
think
men
it
that are
starts.
pretentious, bro.
The performance. It's a performance.
We
A lot of this
performers,
stuff,
yeah, dog. Like no
bro.
cap. Like
Like, and when women say like men are trash, and I'm like, yeah, no cap.
definitely.
All men, myself included. Like, and the minute you understand that, and the
That,
minute you realize that you might not physically be doing the rape and the beating and all that, but you the bro code, bro. That shit need to fall. You know what I mean?
100%,
That shit
100%.
toxic, bro. Like,
Bro, the weirdest
it,
shit happened today, bro. The weirdest shit. Literally, like, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours. So I was in Pick and Pay buying some essentials,
yeah,
and behind me, I just turn around, and there's like maybe 8 police men and women. You know?
yeah,
Okay, at some point, I get shaken. Like, no, actually, I don't get shaken. I actually turn around immediately because I know that yo, you niggas definitely ain't here for me, type shit. You know?
yeah.
But then it hit me in my head that like shit. For if that was in America and I was black and I turned around like that, how the fuck would I feel? I'm probably
Mm.
gonna be so terrified. Then I thought again about it and I was like, shit, that's probably how
Women
if I
feel.
was a woman and I was in the street passing a group of men, like how would I have
Yeah.
felt? And it's like,
Even men in uniform.
you know what I'm saying? Like and so for me it was like shit. Like so here is a gender that has been placed in a position where whatever they do, they're victimized and they're called upon and they're
And
judged.
it's
And now it's getting to a point where these men still wanna own you, like
and
to the
it's
point where like it's fucking ridiculous.
it's the worst part, right? Like all women are subject to it, like at every level. But like the poorest of the poor, bro, like you know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
get it worse. Word,
yo,
word, word,
and it's
word.
like, and South Africa is such an unequal society,
Mm,
you know?
mm, mm.
It's bro, it's like it's like
Look,
I
we need
guess
to
like
really
it starts
change it
with
as
after.
like as men, bro. Like it's messed up, but it's like because dude, like I'm high key tired of like talking to all these um talented and hard work and passionate women that keep telling me that there's constantly each time they're trying to level up and get into a position, there's a man there who wants a sexual something to
Yeah.
for her to level up, and it's just like, bro,
And
like
that's why like
the
when I
fuck,
deal
my
with
nigga.
when I deal with like the younger creatives, especially the girls, like I try and show them, this is what it's supposed to be like. You know what I mean? Like
Right, right,
this is the
right,
level, and like that other fuck shit that other dudes are trying to do. That's not the normal.
right,
That's
right,
not healthy.
right,
That's not how you like conduct. So just like I'm saying, like this is one of the biggest brands, and this is the template on how it should work. The transactional
right.
interaction. Use this experience as your benchmark for the other guys.
No stress. No, no, I hear you. So I'm gonna give you a young challenge. I know it's not like FEMA doesn't really belong to you, so you can't really do much. But I'm gonna email you after this, and I want us to try like do something with Puma. Aimed at like I really want to talk to the young niggas. Like I want to talk to the niggas and like really have a conversation and a conversation where no one's being pointed fingers at, and just a conversation when people can
Yeah,
like really feel the need to open and like talk about shit. You know what I mean? Because I think that's all that's missing. I just think it's a communication thing.
yeah,
I know, like, and what I hate about social media is a lot of things stay on social media, and we need to understand that, like, bro, like 60% or even 70% of population is not on Twitter, dog.
yeah.
Like,
There's bigger
that's why
problems.
I hate this whole marching bullshit. Like, it's like, yeah, cool. Me, you, Hayden, we're gonna go march, and then after we're gonna get back into our houses. And in the hood, someone that wasn't in the march, that same person's gonna be abusing his wife. You get what I mean? Like it's like a classist
It's
change. I don't
like
know if I can
preaching
put
to
it like that, dog.
if I understand what you're saying, it's like those marches and those protests. That's like you preaching to the converted. Like you need to
We
go
need to
to
make
those.
it.
Yeah, like
Yes,
everybody there agrees. So like
yes,
it's bro. Like I don't know what the solution is, but like for me, I think as men, like it starts with the individual decision to be like, yo, fuck this. This is over. We're not doing this shit
right,
no more. We're not standing for this fuck shit. If you
right.
see your friend doing, or you see your friend with a drunk girl, like yo, I'm like yo,
What's good?
like
What you really doing?
don't like have you need to have these uncomfortable conversations.
We do.
The same like
We really
the same
do.
like it's the same like racism. Like I mean, you need like not as a black person, but as a like non-black, like it's person of color, like colored Indian, white. Like there's
Right,
a lot of anti like blackness within our communities,
right.
and a lot of this shit gets swept under the rug because oh no, that's your uncle whatever. But yo, fuck that, yo. I don't give a fuck. Like you know what I mean, like
Right,
I'm calling this shit
right.
out. Like I don't care. I don't. Like yo, I can beat everybody up. It's fine. You know what I mean? Like, nobody can beat me up.
Nah, I feel you.
Yeah, but it's like we have to have, and it's like you can't do the convenient stuff. So like, cool. I was out walking to protest. Cool. Now you go do that because now it relieves your conscience because you know
That's
what I mean.
exactly what I
You
mean, my
need
nigga.
like you need to be do more than you need to as a man and as someone that's opposed to like this systemic racism and sexism and abuse and all that. You need to be willing to like walk alone. But
Right.
there's no right or wrong way to answer it. Like
True,
as long
true.
as you're
That's actually a
conscious
good
of it
point
and
too. That's a
yeah.
good point too. There's no right or wrong. Definitely no right or wrong. So now, future plans for Hayden. What you got? What you got? What you got? What you got on the plan? Like
Bro,
what you
like
working
it's just
on?
so like so I just, essentially just want like breaking like getting Puma like to where it needs to be,
Right,
where it belongs. I think we're
right,
getting it. It's like it's been like a fun. I think it's 3 years this month that I've been
right,
there. So fun, so much fun. Best place I've ever worked.
right.
And yeah, just doing that, like getting that where it needs to be. Um, using my access to resources and stuff, the brand to like enable and activate like other
Young
talented
niggas.
artists and
I
stuff.
see that. I see
Young
what you did with Uncle Vinny. That's
Uncle
respect to
Vinny,
that.
Lucas Raps,
Yeah,
Moneybagger.
a lot of brands wouldn't have done that because a
Yeah,
lot of
bro.
brands just want some kind of security.
But
Shout out
numbers,
to that.
no,
That's a
bro.
big move. That's a big
No,
move.
bro. We just have fun, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Yeah.
and just trying to make it shit cool, trying to leave my own legacy and like also
Shout
leave
out.
this building this business or this culture, whatever, for the next generation.
Yeah.
Not
Word.
trying to fuck it
Word.
up, not trying to fuck it up, bro.
Right. So the last, before we go, you got to give us some words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. You already know.
Goes
I know
back,
you
it goes
got.
back.
I know you got some words because you a poet.
You know what I mean? Like it goes yo, don't do that, don't hype me up, bro. Listen, it goes back to like what we said about that shit earlier, bro. Like when learn your craft, like I mean, like pay your dues. I know it's corny. I know the kids don't want to hear this shit, bro. Especially these new kids. They don't want to
Yeah.
hear this shit.
They want to
But
build
you
Rome
need.
tomorrow.
They want to go top floor straight away.
Yeah. They want to build Rome tomorrow, fam.
And they don't know that the sharks is there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Even on the
you
way
can't
there,
jump
bro.
from the pond. You can't jump from the pond to the ocean, my guy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you can't. You'll
Learn the
drown.
game, bro.
There's no
Build your craft. I
world.
mean,
So that's
you
your
you
word. Learn the game, build your craft,
you
carry
can't
on,
swim
carry
with
on.
sharks if you only know fucking goldfish. You know what I mean?
No cap.
No
No
cap,
cap.
bro.
Be very sure.
The sharks is where the money is, but you only know the goldfish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
learn, like play your position, bold, like understand, like cowboy, like
No cap.
yeah,
No
man.
cap.
It's like this journey is long. Always take the scenic route. You know what I mean?
Yeah, always take the scenic route. I won't lie, that's one thing I will take from you. I was just like literally after our show, it's been the thing on my head, like always take the scenic route,
Take
bro.
your time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, take your time.
Because
You
like
never know.
I always like if say like if you race right
Yeah,
and you want to get to event and you take the shortest. like you race through it. At
You won't
some point,
experience it.
every career you're gonna have to like. At some me, you, whoever has to take a few steps back. And when you race, then you didn't take in the scene. You don't know the road, so now you gotta start from the
Right.
beginning. You took the scene, you smelt the flowers, and you took the
Right.
pictures.
So if someone asks you
When you
about
get
that
knocked
flower
back,
there,
when you get knocked back, you know, no, I don't have to go to the back. I know where this road go. I know where this road go. I know where that.
right.
I know how to get back to the money quickly. You know, so.
No cap.
Because I took long to get there, so now I know how to get to it quicker. You feel me?
Right. I hear you, bro. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your
Thank you,
data
bro.
once again. You know what I'm saying? This is like a part 2. You
Yeah,
you
that's it. It's
literally
not a
gave me
really
an
good as a
idea.
yo.
Nah,
So
it's a part
what
2.
that means. You know what part 2 means, right?
Yeah,
New
what does it mean?
artwork, bro. More artwork.
Of course, then I already spoke to my
That shit
homie.
was
He's like,
fire, bro.
shout
That
out.
illustration was people were asking me, who the fuck did that? That shit was
For real,
dope.
yeah, that little homie really good, bro. His name is Joey. He's a really, really cool guy. You guys should
Yeah.
check him out on the gram, man. He's really, really good. But yeah,
Sick.
don't worry. But the artwork is gonna be the same. We're just changing a few things, you know, because we need people to remember that it's still like a continuation. But yeah, bro, like
Put the flying Lamborghini in the background. That type of shit.
you actually really gave me like a good idea. So for season 2, I figured I'd just like have like a part 2. Cause like this is like really a part 2. Like that's what no cap, dude.
So now I'm happy because I took fuck long to get my number 1 out the way, and now I'm the first number 2. So we're good. We know the beat. I'm not gonna
Nah,
pull up
don't
on you
worry, don't
anymore.
worry.
We're good.
Yeah, now you updated the phone, you updated the settings. I shout out, bro. Thank you so much for your time. Keep
Cheers,
good,
bro.
man. Stay good. I'm gonna hit you up with that mail. No worries.
Yeah.
But we'll see what we can do, man. Stay blessed, my brother.
Sure, bro. Peace.
All right, bless up.